Yo, what's going on there, guys? My name is Pone. It's time for another Real Talk. This one's not going to be as serious as the bullying one before, but a lot of those instances can kind of overlap in this one. Because being overweight is looked down upon by not only media, society, but people, and all kinds of other things. And let's just be clear here. Once upon a time, believe it or not, I was actually skinny. I'm right now, I'm a little fluffy. It's true. I'm a little chubby right now, and I'm okay with that. At least as long as I keep my clothes on, right? I take off my shirt, it looks like Dice developed that, right? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of dramatic. So, honestly, I'm okay with my weight. Most people aren't. And the reason for being is I think that weight is not a factor in life, or how you should judge people, or if they're attractive or anything. The most important part is being healthy. Now, I'll tell you straight up, I don't eat healthy, but I do a bit of exercise. I definitely do like 800 reps of mouse wiggling a day. It's just one of those things. I went outside, I bought a basketball hoop, I played basketball for a couple hours yesterday. The fact that I can still do that to me means I'm not too overweight. I'm not too unhealthy. Because it didn't bother me, and today I'm not laying in bed moaning and groaning. So, as long as you can still do your routines, and as long as I can still grow older and do things with my kid, I'm gonna keep doing this. Now, when people ask me all the time, like, Pone, why are you okay being, chubby or something? And for starters, I don't care what other people think about me. And I don't ever know why people do. People judge other people to feel better about themselves. They're like, oh look, dude's fat. They only think that because it makes them feel better because they're skinnier. But who's to deem whether or not being fat or skinny is the right way? There is no right or wrong. That's what makes it so funny. But the media and society and people feel that you have to be skinny to be attractive or normal or anything like that. Think about how many times you've watched a YouTuber. Just think about this. Many of you guys have probably done this a few different times. You've watched a YouTuber, a handful of them. You've fallen in love with their content. You like who they are at their core. And then they do a face cam vlog for 100k subs. And you're like, that looks nothing like him. I know you guys have said that about me. You look at me and you're like an ugly baby face with a neck beard. You totally expected some awesome big buff fucking dude, right? You know, some people are like, oh yeah, I thought you sound like Ashton Kutcher. You thought I'm gonna look like Ashton Kutcher. Some people are like, Pone, I thought you were black. I'm like, you know, from the waist down, dog. You know, it's just one of those things. So, honestly, think about that. I mean, same thing, because I'm sure you probably get your stalk on the female commentators. You find them, you do it, and then you just look up their Instagram, and you're like, yeah! You know, it's one of those things. So, what we look like is a natural first impression. So, being overweight doesn't help. When you're meeting something or somebody like that. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but people can still fall in love with you, and you can still like somebody without that. That's just a characteristic. That's a part of you. And truth is, when it comes down to being overweight, it kind of sucks because people look at you differently, or don't look at you. Some people want to feel pretty. I want to feel pretty. Make me feel pretty. They want to say, you look handsome today. And it doesn't count when your grandma says it, because, well, it's your grandma. But you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. So everybody in the world wants praise. They want to know they did good at something. But, appearance is something that you're going to have or you're not going to have. I mean, you can work on it. You can get more fit and everything like that. But truth is, you're just jealous I got more chins than you. It's just one of those things. You don't have to worry about things too much. But everybody puts this emphasis on. Now, obesity is a thing. It's growing in our youth, more popularly here in the United States. And most of that is due to fast food being so cheap and convenient. As for other countries, I've met a lot of my European friends and people, Matt the Musketeer, other commentators and everything like this. And we always have these talks because they're always curious about why we're so fat. And this is a long-running stereotype, if you will, about the American people, that we're all obese, fat people. And, I asked them, I'm like, what's like a Big Mac cost there? And it's like 4 times what it costs here. And I'm like, well, no shit, that's why you guys are not as fat as we are, because we can get 8 of those for the price of year 1. And it's more convenient. We ain't got to make it. That's why a lot of people eat fast food. On top of that, they ask other questions. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, I went to the restaurant yesterday. I had potato skins. So they're like, what the fuck is a potato skin? And I'm like, dude, it's where you take the bacon and the cheese. I was mentioning all this stuff, and they've, like, never even heard some of the standard type snacks like that we have. And then, I mentioned something that I make called taco pie, and his mind was blown. He's like, what is taco pie? But he was interested. The way I look at it is I love food on an intimate level. I love food. And this is also a reason why I don't diet. I love food more than I love most things. Food makes me feel good. I love the taste of food. I love cooking food. One of my favorite hobbies is cooking foods, trying different recipes, grilling. I've grilled twice in the last 2 weeks. I've probably grilled $100 in meats in the last 2 weeks. And I love it. I love food. It's one of the few things I do. When I'm depressed, I eat. And it's going to be something cool. It's going to be something great. And it's just something I do. It's because one of those things that makes me feel good. So no, I'm not going to stop eating foods I like. Could I limit, you know, my soda intake? Yeah, and I do. I drink a lot of lemonade and water and stuff now. I never ever used to drink water. Up until now, I never ever did. Now I drink a glass or two a day at least. So truth is, it wasn't until I had my son that I started worrying a little bit more about my health, because I want to be older and I want to do sports with him, and that's something that you need to take into consideration as you get older, is you want to be healthier to live longer for your family and your loved ones. It may not be a, you know, a thing right now as you're older, but or as you're younger, but that's one of those things. Because when I was a teenager, I was skinny. I was athletic. Believe it or not, I was extremely gifted in sports. It was something that I did a lot. I was good at basketball. I was a great quarterback. I did lots of good stuff. But, you know, puberty hit. High school switched up. I didn't have any of my old friends. I was socially awkward. I was, you know, weird and everything like that. And that built up. And I started gaining weight. So in high school, I started, you know, I was kind of a chubby kid. So that kind of bothered me a bit. You know, I didn't like it. You know, it always made me feel like I couldn't talk to girls or I wouldn't be attractive to them or anything like that. A few weird ones came along. But it's just kind of how it was. And I always felt that nobody would like me because I was fat. You know, it sucks every day waking up thinking that no one's ever going to think you're attractive or no one's going to think you're a good person. It's like, because any time you meet somebody, unless it's forced or, you know, regulated or whatever, a lot of things happen. When you meet a girl and you bump into her and you see it in the movies or something like that, you know, you think it's love at first sight. There's a few layers to get past till you see the real me. And that's just kind of how the world works. And I blame media and society for this. Truth is, everyone feels like this. And this is the part that upsets me the most, is I go to the store and buy something for my wife, and there may not be something in her size. She's not bigger. She's not fat by any means. She's not even chubby. But every fucking thing in females' clothes it's 9 times extra small. The media in Target and Kohl's and all these fucking places make these women feel like they have to be smaller. They look at these advertisements, and unless you're a stick figure, bitch, you're fucking overweight. Women feel, and this is the biggest problem with me, it's even more of a problem with women, because women feel like they have to be skinny. If they're not skinny, they're not worth anything. And they become damaged, and I blame media and the Disney Channel. The fucking Disney Channel is Hitler reincarnated. It's like every girl needs to be skinny, needs to have big boobs and a fat ass, and obviously if I was ordering that on a menu, that's what I'd be like, sure, yeah. But it's not like it's mandatory. It's not like you need something. It's not like it makes you a good person or makes you attractive or unattractive. It's not a make or break thing. But the world says that's how you're supposed to do it. And that's what you're supposed to look like. So that's what the standards are. And that's kind of sad that random people that have no influence on our life get to determine and dictate whether or not we're attractive, we're cool, we're nice, we're fat, we're unhealthy. And I always look to it as one thing. If you guys are overweight out there, my overweight brethren, you got to understand that's part of you. And the same thing applies when I talk about people if it's something wrong. When somebody says something that's the truth about me and it bugs me, you have to fix it. If they say something or they look at you and it's not true, then it shouldn't bother you. I'm not going to waste time worrying on something that's not true. That's just stupid. So when somebody looks at me and they just judge me by the amount of chins that I have, yeah, I laugh. I get these all the time. I do video logs. I'm a public, you know, person, figure. Round being that shape, but I'm a figure. And they look at me and, you know, they say, hey, this is some fat kid, typical gamer, you know? That's what they see when they see me. They don't see, hey, he's a funny guy. They don't see, hey, he's probably a loving husband and father. They don't see the things that really matter. All they see is what they see. And then they'll judge me and base their opinions upon that around what I look like. And I think that's kind of sad, you know, and it's always been this way. When I was younger, it used to bother me. It wasn't until I went through some rough times in my life that I realized nobody's fucking opinion matters to me. Short of my wife and my son when he gets one. I don't care what other people think about me. And that's not a good thing. I mean, I should care, but I don't. But when I used to get defensive. I used to be like one of those guys that would be like, excuse me. They'd look at me and, you know, somebody'd call me fat or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, cushion for the pushing goes both ways. We'd have these defense mechanisms set up. We'd have these ways to make ourselves feel better, but, you know, brush it off or anything like that. But deep down, it hurt us. Because no person that's overweight wants to be overweight, and that's because people judge us differently. And it's just one of those things we work with. The truth is, everyone can fix it. You are all capable of fixing it. Regulate your diet, work on it. I'm not a person that likes to diet because I like food too much. So people think you can't do something like that. I remember reading during the Olympics that Usain Bolt basically only ate McDonald's chicken nuggets during the whole event. You can eat food. You can choose your foods, favorite foods you like, and eat certain things with them. And you can still work out. You could build muscle. You could be fit. You can be skinny. You can do lots of things and still eat the food you love. And that's what I'm trying to do. And you know, I have damn near a full gym and a basketball hoop and everything like that. I've got the opportunities right there. It's just finding the time and getting the mindset to fix it. So if something in your life, be it weight, anything, is bothering you, there are almost always tools out there to fix it. And if not, like I said, if it's something that's out of your control, you shouldn't bother lingering on trying to fix it. That's wasted time. You know, you just find something else to do. Everybody's got good and bad qualities. There's no such thing as a perfect person. You've seen some of those really attractive women and get near them, and then they're fucking annoying or something like that. Man, I would rather have a fat, cool person than a hot. You know, I would rather date a fat, cool woman, like down to earth, loves to hang out, watch movies, than be with a skinny bitch that can't count to 3. You know, it's just how it is. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary. There's a lot of casual jokes in there, but truth is, you know, it's what it is. If you can't laugh at it, then whatever, you know. Have a great day, guys. If you're overweight, you could do something about it. Don't act like a victim the whole time. Don't act like somebody owes you something. It sucks being made fun of. It sucks being looked at differently. But truth is, you can fix it. So at the end of the day, you're the one responsible for how you look. And if you want to change it, you have the tools to do so. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen, and stay moist. Leave a comment down below for other real talks you'd like to see. I think I got another one coming up here soon on being a father. So we'll check that out and hit that up in a week or two. Subscribe if you're new here. And also, you're still jelly I've got more chins, bro. That's all it is.